What's up, y'all? It's your boy Red. Welcome back to part 6 of the Sonic Adventure 2 battle playthrough. So, continuing on with the story. This supercomputer in this room always reminds me of like extraterrestrial, like alien type stuff. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like the intention, but it's just the way it's animated and then like the texture work. It's like shiny and stuff. It just seems like it's like flesh of like something. Or I don't know. It just seems so otherworldly. Even like that part. Like, what is this computer? It's like screens swirling everywhere. Right. Is this is all built by like Gerald Robotnik? Yeah, he got Eggman beat. At least at this point, probably. This this po- the this part of Shadow's character is very like odd past this game because it's just like it's just like Shadow. You really feel like you owe loyalty to Eggman just because he like activated you, but in later games it's like that's all scrapped. Pretty much everything about Shadow in this game is scrapped. Not really. Well, in the terms of like Shadow remembering the events of this game, because he forgets everything after this. Okay, and yes, Rouge kind of comes out of nowhere. I guess. Well, she followed Eggman, so not really. And this is actually closer to like the earlier part of the hero side story. Like at this point in the hero side story, I think we would be like we're going through like Metal Harbor, either Metal Harbor or Prison Lane. I think this cutscene is real cool because it's like you see like the exact opposite of what goes on. Like this basically fills in the blank in the hero side story. Maybe not filling in the blank, but it shows you their perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because in the hero side story, they're just kind of just already all together. Yeah. So this is weapons bed, and I swear for some reason Eggman runs much faster in this stage. Now this stage is actually probably one of my favorites. It's they just give you so much to do. It's so much to shoot at. That is like pretty much the whole like thing you're trying to do is just get perfects. And I think to get a perfect, you need to hit like 11, like 10 or 11 hits at once. So, and then we got the bazooka. which turns our cannon, gives it another color. It looks cool. It's like green and stuff now. And that was a lot of rings just from those item boxes. So this is basically reusing Metal Harbor's assets, as well as this is where we fight Tails too. So it all like kind of connects with each other, which is cool. Yeah, the cutscenes really like tie in all the environments together. Versus where like in Adventure One, I felt like they um they had the hub worlds like try to connect everything together. But this game don't have hub worlds other than the Shao Garden. I, the only like thing that I would change about Eggman's gameplay is, and I think I said this for Tails too, but both of them, I just wish they were like slightly faster in the air. Like I wish they had like a jet. At least you could do like a air dash, like a homeland, like a air dash. Yeah, like Sonic and Shadow. I wish Tails and Eggman could have done something like that too. Just something to make them like just quicker. But it's like, or honestly, if Eggman and Tails control like how Eggman controls on here in every stage, I probably would like it a lot better. But then again, this stage is also like the way it's designed is like spacious and stuff. Like you know, it's not no walls necessarily. Like think about um Eggman's first stage, Iron Gate, and then think about this. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. So maybe that's why. It's just a lot more like running room. So I guess that's why the controls are like that. But I don't know. Is that even something y'all have noticed if y'all played this before? Like play Sand, not Sand Ocean. Play, yeah, like Sand Ocean. Play any other Eggman or Tail stage, and then play that one, and you feel the difference. The bazooka on Eggman actually looks cool. Okay, now this cutscene is actually done in the way that I wish more cutscenes were done. They show like they showed the other perspective of the other side of the character a little bit first. Even though I guess you could technically say that Eggman's cutscene is right before and Tails is right after. Like I wish in like in Sonic and Shadow, for instance, like Radical Highway and City Escape, I wish it was just like like a couple more seconds of like before and after on each side. It just shows like I don't know, just more of their perspective. But I know that is just very ambitious for me to keep, for me to wish for a game that's over 20 years old. But hey, technically, Sonic Adventure 3 still doesn't exist by the time of this recording. Technically, by name, no. So this is Security Hall. This stage, it's okay. Well, it's I don't think Knuckles has like. I don't think Knuckles has like an equivalent to this in terms of like the assets and the stage, like the graphics and stuff. No, I don't think so. But anyway, this is basically, I guess this level is supposed to make you feel like a spy. It kind of does because it has like the red lasers and then like the music. I'm pretty much a fan of every. I like the Well, I ain't gonna say I'm a fan of every track, but for the majority of them, I like Rouge tracks in terms of like the music. But anyway, for this stage, the emerald is it's possible that the emerald could be like behind one of those safes, and not all of them are like on, so you have to like go find the switch. And I swear that I've played this stage a couple times and like none of them, or maybe like at least one will spawn in the switch behind like the safe. But they could either be like up here or like anywhere else. I'm not sure if they're like in the safe every time you play the stage. But yeah. In terms of size, I wouldn't say this stage isn't much bigger. This stage really isn't much bigger than. Well, nah, it doesn't really feel as big as what's the first Rouge stage? I forget the name of it. Because this one is just so. This one is just real open. This one's straight to the point because it's just a big room, and then the room at the on the top. That's just also a big room too. So yeah, that stage is pretty straightforward actually. I think the main challenge is like trying to find the switch in like the time limit. But the time limit is pretty generous, honestly. Even though Rouge says that, I think the reason why Rouge like says she can do it in 5 minutes, even though Eggman said 15, is I think the rest of the 10 minutes is supposed to be this boss fight and then like us playing the next shadow stage. I think, cause like if you watch the cutscene, the timing kind of lines up, if I'm not mistaken. So Rouge actually gets a variant of the Sonic and Shadow fight from the beginning of both sides of the story actually. So she gets Flying Dog, or did I? I think that's what it said. When it comes to like names of like, that's one thing y'all gonna notice about me. Like when it comes to like names of like specific like bosses and enemies, if they not memorable, or if I like, even in like the series that I love the most, like if it's just something that's not memorable about it, I'm just not gonna remember it. Like names. Like what was it? No, it was Flying Dog. Yeah, I was right. I was right though. But yeah. But if I get it wrong, please bear with me. So the the difference between this and then the Sonic and Shadow one is you have like, of course you're playing a treasure hunter character now, so you can climb up the walls, which you can. I feel like you can get this one done quicker than the Sonic and Shadow one, but it's actually kind of slightly more challenging if you're trying to do it like that. Like if you're really just trying to like do how I'm doing it, I'm basically chasing him. But it's like you gotta angle him just right. Like his hitbox isn't just super huge, I don't think. And then he just moves more and faster, I feel like. And he has invincibility frames. Cause if he didn't, it would probably be instantly over. Cause when you hit them like that, it's like you lose all of your control in the air. Like you can't move Rouge until like a until he's moved again. And that was it. Rouge actually has a very nice character model, to be honest. Like she is designed very well. Like she fits in with the rest of the cast. Uh-oh. Barbie. Space Barbie. Okay. And now we're moving on to White Jungle, which is Shadow's equivalent of Green Forest, basically. Except now we have weather effects, which is cool in like every game. Like I wish maybe sometimes like I just wish maybe that could be like a. Sometimes I be wishing stuff like that is like a feature in every game, like in Majora's Mask or like different. Y'all know like different games that have like weather effects, like but randomly though. But it doesn't really affect the gameplay like whatsoever. I be wishing that being. I be wishing that type of stuff be in games like this, like in City Escape. Like you can just play the game at random. Like you could shuffle between like night and day, and then like different weather effects. Actually, for Sonic R, I think that's exactly how those stages work, which is actually really cool. Depending on like what version of the game I think you play, or maybe it might be all of them. I feel like it's all of them though, or at least the one I on, at least the one on Sonic Gems, which is the one, which is the collection I have. Which I think that's the only collection that's on. Is Sonic Gem still the only way to play Sonic R? It may be on Steam or something though. I'll definitely go to look after this recording. So yeah. Now this is the stage where we get the light speed dash for Shadow too. So which is coming up right now, and it works the exact same way as Sonic, but I feel like I don't like it as much on Shadow because it makes his shoes like way chunkier, which they look fine still, but oh my. Okay. Yeah, they still look fine, but it's just like I kind of prefer the just just a little more skinnier version. Now, in terms of Sonic's, what they add to his shoes, I like what they add because they add like the little green like LED lights, I think, or something like that. Now, Sonic's look cool, but I think Shadow looks cool without his light speed dash. But honestly, the more you play, the less you really like notice them because that Shadow's light speed shoes like are really the same thing. It's just like a little more meat on the bone. Talking about the back part. You know the back. What's that part? The heel. I wish I knew that. I wish I was a little more in tune with specific sneaker part names, but I'm not. So the back. have deja vu again.
見つけたぜこの偽物野郎
偽物フェイクは君の方じゃないのかいや
Oh,
フェイクと呼ぶ
he
には
even says
レベ
faker
ルが
in
違いすぎる
English.
言わせておけば今度は逃がさないぜ
And now we have our first fight against Sonic. I was just standing there for a second.
やるな
Now I feel like you can one way that you can really cheese it the same way as like Egg Viper.
までのやつと
I think you can like mash it, but you also run the risk of like falling off depending on how like the CPU like reacts, I think. Or if your reaction time is just better, you probably can get over and just mashing it the whole time. And the funny thing is, when you play, like when you get the upgrades for other characters, and you go back and play like the next story that you haven't played yet, the characters from the other story that you played, they'll still have like their the upgrades on. So it be feeling like when you play, like that just makes it feel more like you're playing through the same story. It just hones in that fact. But it kind of looks weird because it's like, dang, like,
自分の
did we like change time or something?
人間のためだ科学の力でみんなを幸せにするそれが自分の生きがいだってマリア僕には見つからない僕が生まれた理由僕は何のために生まれ
I
何
don't,
をすればいいのか
to be honest,
いつか
I find it cool that Shadow has
それ
like,
が見つかるんだ
honestly, Maria kind of mirrors Eggman in a way.
マリ
Like Maria and Shadow, then Sonic and Eggman, like enemies and then friends. Like that's one way that I think that they parallel Shadow, which is kind of cool. Cause Eggman and Maria are cousins,
別にお前を助けたかったわけじゃないカオスエメラルドのためだ
so it's kind of ironic that Sonic and Eggman are like enemies, but Maria and Shadow are like besties,
デモンスト
basically.
レーションをする分には問題ないさあパーティーを始める
And the this is this cutscene once again. This looks just the human characters in this don't really look that good, to be honest. But if you squint your eyes, it doesn't look half bad. But this looks like this looks good right here though. Like this part doesn't look that bad. It's probably the best looking part. Like, oh my god, the people. Like, I don't think Sonic Team were really focused on the human characters still at this point. Like, they kind of got a little more shine in this game because, like, the president and the secretary and the one cutscene that they're in. Because in Adventure 1, you don't interact with any humans. I don't think so. No, you don't. The closest thing to... Well, I mean, the NPCs, I mean, they have, like, different, like, stories and stuff that go on if you talk to them, but they have literally no bearing on, like, your gameplay, to be honest. You can literally not talk to any of them.
7つのカオスエメラルドは絶対に必要だ
It ain't gonna be until Unleash, until they look good.
交渉が失敗したのさ
But they end up ditching human characters after that, to be honest, which was a shame. All of those human characters from Unleashed could still be in the Sonic series. They just choose not to do it.
何
Okay, this is a nod to the end of Sonic Adventure 1. Of Tails' story, that is. Pretty much, yeah, the end until that's the Sonic versus not Sonic. Tails versus Eggman is like one of the last things that happens before the final story in Adventure 1.
いよいよ
No, I'm think I'm getting that mixed up. I think Sonic fights Eggman last. Tails fights him first. Sonic just like shoves it in, basically. And here we go with another not Mario Kart level. Mm, same thing like I said with the same thing I said with Tails. This controls just enough to where it's not like super bad, but oh, it could be a little bit better. But if you, I think you have to press the A button and turn at the same time, and then you drift, and then you can like collect rings and get like a little boost. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Twinkle Park was so much more creative than this. At least it was more creative. And that was essentially kind of like the same thing, but it just felt so much better. But it's just like, why do we have to do kart racing? I think kart racing is more of a thing they was trying to push for multiplayer. And they had worked on it so much that like we gotta put this as single player. At least. This probably if this wasn't if these stages weren't like a part of the main story, there probably would be a lot of people that don't even know that kart racing will be in this game. Cause I forget about this like all the time. Like every time this stage comes up, I'm like, oh dang, yeah, the kart racing part. But I don't know. I do. If y'all played this, have y'all played? Do y'all? If y'all played this and y'all played two player with somebody, have y'all played like the kart racing? Cause even when I've been in instances where I played two player with other people, oh, we didn't play kart racing. Cause we probably had Mario Kart or something. Like, I think this is for the two player racing. For this was if you really was just like, we gonna do Sonic Adventure 2 kart racing, or y'all didn't have Mario Kart, which is fine. Cause guess what? I did not have Mario Kart for long before. I didn't have this game. I feel like I feel like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the only GameCube game I had for like a good minute when I first got it. I didn't start getting like a lot of other games until like later. I feel like I had this and I had like Sonic Mega Collection, which was very like clutch because that basically filled you in the gaps on everything before. Honestly, from beginning to Sonic Adventure 2, if you had battle. So the GameCube in 2000 and like in the early 2000s was like very good for like people who to get into Sonic because it was all on the GameCube. Even though Sonic was on like PlayStation and what I think Sonic had a game on. Sonic Heroes may have been on Xbox too, but Sonic was on other like systems, of course. But none of them. Sonic belongs on Nintendo consoles. Like he just does. Sometimes PlayStation, but for the most part, Sonic is definitely more. He just fits the Nintendo brand. So I'm just, even though the Sega consoles, they were really cool. Even though the only one I have is a Dreamcast. Honestly, the only other one is really the Saturn and the Genesis. The Saturn seems like a really cool console, and it has a lot of cool games that I could get into. But that was like before my time, so I've never personally played one yet. Maybe I'll get one day though.
興味ないな。
And then Genesis, of course, that's just way before my time. But there really isn't anything on the Genesis, to be honest, that I can think of other than Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and CD and Dr. Eggman's Lean Beam Machine. I mean, I played Vector Man on Sonic Gems Collection, but and I've tried playing. I have played like other Sega Genesis games other than the Sonic ones. It's just none of them have stuck with me. Like I don't think none of them really have. Now that's a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games that I can Of course, we gonna get into a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games on the channel. But in terms of like Sega Genesis, y'all gonna have to like recommend me some if y'all played any. But the Dreamcast though, Dreamcast was where it's at. And you can do tricks right there, which is kind of cool. So this is basically like Shadows. I feel like Shadow stages are kind of more grind heavy.
よし。
But then again, do you feel like Shadow stages are more grind heavy than Sonic's, or they're about the same? Cause I'm trying to think. Cause there was grinding in City Escape.
少々遊びすぎ。
Not so much Metal Harbor. Not too much. There still was. But I feel like Skyrail is Skyrail, Finals Last Stage, and then Radical Highway. Those are very
彼らは
like
まっ
real
すぐ
heavy.
そちらに向かっている。
Maybe not Radical Highway so much. This reminds me of when Sonic and Tails was trying to catch up with the egg carrier on Red Mountain. Like right here, like Knuckles has all the upgrades now. Like we technically he hasn't even been to Meteor Her yet. So how does he have the sunglasses? And if Sonic fights the Egg Golem, then what are we gonna do? We're gonna fight it. I'm just gonna say it before it even pops up. We are gonna fight the Egg Golem as Eggman. Yeah. I spoiled you. And Sonic still doesn't have pupils in this cutscene. Oh my gosh. He's like a deer in headlights. Okay, now they're back. Uh-oh, and we get a cut of It Doesn't Matter. Which I honestly prefer the Sonic Adventure 1 version, but this one is very cool too. It's more upbeat and like faster on the Switch. It's definitely a different vibe. But the first one, it doesn't matter from Sonic Adventure One. Oh, that is like a masterpiece. Like you feel that song. Like you feel the energy on that version. So this is the egg golem. Basically, you just shoot, wait until the weakness like shows up, hit the weakness, and that's it. This is pretty. This can go pretty fast paced, but don't keep getting hit like me. And I have like OCD, so what I like to do is I like to like go behind him, spam him, and then I have all the weaknesses show up at one time, and then hit him like that. I don't know if that's weird, but have y'all done that before? If y'all played this, I also feel like this stage just shows. It just shows how Sonic Team is actually like really talented and they can make really good things. But if like the budget isn't there, cough cough Sega, um, if the budget and time isn't there, then they have to just make do with what they have. Like honestly, I feel like y'all probably had a different either y'all had a different boss for Eggman that y'all wanted to do, or either just something because this is very like I don't know. I don't want just to be frank. This is very like cheap on the sleep because this is literally like repurposed from like repurposed from the Sonic side, which is unfortunate. But I actually would have liked to see Eggman have like a different boss fight, or if it was gonna still be the Egg Golem, it could have been like something like completely different still. It's like a shame that Eggman nor Tails has any other boss fights other than the Egg Golem. Because in fact, Tails, you don't have any boss fights other than Eggman, but that doesn't really count. Like every other character gets like a boss fight. Sonic, Shadow, Rouge, Knuckles, and then Eggman has Egg Golem. But dang, Tails doesn't have not one, which just shows that Tails and Rouge were like added very late in the game. It's even theories out there that people claim that Tails was never even like planned to be playable, which maybe, but I slick think that maybe Tails wasn't like. I feel like they focused on Sonic, Eggman, and Knuckles for sure, but they probably had the intent of bringing like Rouge and Tails in anyway. Because when you think about it, Rouge's plot, like her involvement in like the whole plot of the game, it's really like not very developed. Like when I was saying in like the first part, I was like, okay, Rouge is cool. They go into her a little bit with like the military and stuff, but it doesn't really go far. Cause now we're back looking for the emeralds. Like, but anyways, yeah. So that was part 6, and I'm gonna catch y'all on part 7. So see y'all on the flip side. Ciao.